Science Setters, welcome to today's Grade 11 Life Sciences show, proudly brought to you by Macmillan. Today we have a special revision lesson on population ecology.
First thing we're going to have a look at, as I said, is your definitions, right? Your definition of a population. Now, understand, you don't have to know it word for word like this, okay? But you've got to know it in your own words. And now let me give you this, the best information ever. Megan, are you listening?
Listening.
Okay, as long as she's listening, and you guys are.
I'm tuned.
It's very simple. This is needed for next year. So don't throw these notes away. These are very, 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 very important, okay? Because there might not be enough time to complete this next year. In actual fact, I don't think there is time to complete it. So this is used for next year. So next year, this section and the whole of matric gets put into the final exams. So do not throw the section away. Keep it safe. Use it. Study it now so it's easier for next year. Right. Cool. Now, let's have a look at it. A population, okay, is the total number of individuals, which is simple so far, right? Total number of individuals of the same species, okay? You can't do it where it comes to humans, chimpanzees, wombats, let me think of other things. The isidingo, well, it's a dingo. That's it, the dingo, right? The dingoes, all those things together. It's not that. It is humans, okay? Species humans, right? Okay? That, we say that's the species that, how do I put this? I'm trying to get it. A specific area. It's got to be occupying all in one area. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Okay, so it occupies, it's very simple, they're occupying, but it's got to be a specific area. So, my backyard, that's a specific area.
Big
right?
place, big place.
Okay, my pool area. There we go. Just the pool area is we doing everything there, and we're counting beetles, for instance. So it's a specific area. It's not my whole block, or it's not my block and my school's block, and you understand, it's a specific area. So we're having a look at a specific area, and that are able, this is very, very, very important. They are able to interbreed. In other words, they can mate, to breed. Breed, right? Not breed, breed. Okay, to make new children, right? New offspring. So in other words, it cannot be a cat and a dog because they're not going to make new offspring, even though I would love to have a big, how do you call it? A Great Dane mixed with a beautiful, like, cat. And out comes this big cat that is going to be my pet that's not in the wild. Hey, what do you think, Megan?
That'd be good.
That would
big
be awesome.
Cat mixed
Can
with
you
a dog.
imagine?
It's like
the thing
cat dog.
purrs. It'll be huge.
Yeah.
It'll be so cool. Right. So, and the last thing, it's got to be at a specific time. So we can't do some of it now and some of it in a year's time. Okay? The populations change. Things change. Right. So the last thing that we're having a look at is a specific time. So if we have a look at it, okay, if we read that again, so have a good look at the board and go there. It's a population is the total number of an individual of the same species that occupy a specific area and that are able to interbreed. Okay, so they're able to interbreed at a specific time. Okay, so that is the whole thing. That is the definition. Okay, now remember, I say to you, you don't have to know it word for word, but you've got to understand it. There's no such thing as knowing everything off word for word. It's about understanding things. That's what life science is about, understanding. Right. Now, you get to the part where, like for me, I'll never understand a lady, and the ladies will never understand a man. I get it. But biology or life science, we understand. Yes, Megan?
Got it.
Good girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, characteristics of a population. Okay, let's have a look. Density. Okay, what is density? You guys that do science will know what density means, right? And if we have a look at it's the number of individuals per unit area or per unit volume. Now, that might be strange and you cannot understand it. Okay, so if we have a look at it, it's the number of individuals per unit area, in other words, area squared. So let's say it's a meter. It's a meter by a meter by a meter by a meter, right? Or cubed, which means it's a meter by a meter by a meter by a meter. So it's a square on the floor, right? And it goes up by a meter. Okay, so it's a whole thing. It's a volume. You can fill it up with water. So a glass contains volume, but the floor on the bottom contains area. You understand? I hope you're getting it from me. Right. Now, we don't have to know it so in detail like maths, but as soon as you understand it, makes it easier. Right. Okay, so let's have a look. We're looking at sex ratios. Okay, we need to have a look. For example, if we have the ratio of males and females, so let me just put it there so I can, and individuals within a population. If I have a look, stick with me here. 10 female in the house, just picture this. Me, myself and I, just this person here, right, has 10 wives, right? 10 wives. That is so cool.
Polygamist.
You know, but it'll never happen,
Uh-huh.
right?
I'll make sure of that.
Difficult to
Llewellyn's
stay
wife.
with one, right? But 10 wives, okay? That means I can choose whichever I want, whenever I want, however I want, right? But if we have my 10 wives and my brother and myself and my, let's say, cousin, and we're all staying in the same area, and we have to share the 10 wives, right? I'm going to find a favorite. That's the way it works. That's what humans are like. We find a favorite. He finds a favorite. Now, what happens if we like the same girl? What will happen, Megan?
That'll be a bit of a problem.
We give it the old,
Yeah, let's sort this out outside type deal.
the old way of fighting. Swing it up like this, right? There's a bit of boxing, right? And if there's boxing, okay, somebody's going to get hurt. Okay, now what happens if I don't quit and he doesn't quit? Somebody could die. Okay, do you understand where I'm coming from? So you've got to have a look at the individuals of sex and numbers, and there's a lot of things we've got to have a look at in this section. Right, so let's have a look. The next thing is pattern of distribution. Okay, so how many are found on a specific, in a specific area? So I know there's a moth. Now, please understand, I know my life science. The problem is I don't know specific animals that land on specific places. It's because I've never had to. But there is a moth, right? A moth or a butterfly, I can't remember which one. But he comes and flies along, and he wants to go land on a leaf because he's got to drop his eggs there. The egg's going to hatch, and you're going to get the worms, right? I'm trying to make it easy. And those worms will eat the leaf and grow up and become a butterfly, and off he goes and lays eggs again. Okay, so yes, you all know this. It's like a silkworm. Okay, put it there. Now, this butterfly will fly along and have a look at each leaf. And if he sees more than 2 eggs, right, he leaves the leaf alone because it means he's not going to have enough food for his baby, or her baby, should I say. Her baby. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So that is what we do with this. So we have a look at how many people on a specific area. So here we go. The way in which individuals or a population are distributed over an area that they can occupy, right? And the distribution may be random, okay, or clumped, or uniform. Okay, we'll learn each and every one of these things. Okay, we'll learn. So either random, in other words, there'll be 10 over there, there'll be 2 over here, there'll be 5 over there, right? Or clumped. We all, in this area, in your classroom is clumped. If they just throw all the people in your school inside it, that'll be clumped. Okay, then you get the random, which is some will sit over there, there'll be 10 over there, there'll be 1 at this desk, 4 at those desks over there, and then uniformly, this way, you sit in rows and it's imperfect, right? There's 1 in this area, 1 in that area, 1 in that area. That's where your territories come along. Right, so let's have a look at pictures, because I learn by pictures, and I've tried to put as many pictures as possible, but we need to understand it. Okay, if we have a look, there's 2 top leaves behind me on the board, right? Two top leaves. The first one that is on the left-hand side, okay, you will see that there's 6 beetles. Okay, let me just count them with you. Here it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let's say that they're eating that leaf. 6 would be able to live comfortably. Okay? The next one, on the right-hand side, have a look how many beetles. Now, I would circle them, but I'd like to teach you some more things, not just stay on the beetles all day. Right? So, you get where I'm coming from. Okay? There's a lot. So, it's distributed. There's too many there. It's not going to last long. Next thing, you go underneath. I've had a look at sex ratios. Okay? On the right-hand side, you will see females chilling, having a good time, right? I'm sure in the corner, if you have a look, if you're looking at me, right, and we're looking at this board, and to the right of it, I'm sure there's a spa where they do their nails and facials and all of that stuff, right? So it's chilled and it's nice and it's everything. And then at the top corner, there's this one male, and he is proud. That is me, standing. He says, "Come on, this is mine. I'm loving life," right? Look at the left-hand side. These two mates, now they've got to fight. It's exactly what I said. They're going to fight because the strongest gene has got to win. And the ladies only like the strongest gene. Okay? We're the only things on earth, humans, that don't fight for dominancy. Right? We shouldn't fight for dominancy because there's a girl for everybody. Right? Cool. Well, more for me, of course. Right. So we all happy with this. You got it. Now, Megan, don't carry on laughing because seriously.
I'm sorry, I just sneezed. Everyone's like, woo.
It happens.
Pardon me.
Parameters, okay, of a population. In other words, what controls the size of a population? Right. That's all it is. Now, what I want to do is I want you to remember parameters. And you can have a look in your textbooks or whatever, but we're going to have a break. And while we're having this break, I want you to stretch, and I want you to go over your head. Now, it's pointless going into your textbooks now. I want you to think for yourself. Put one and one together. What do you think parameters would include? But now remember, this is for yourself. So if you go look in your book, you're not actually doing anything good for yourself. I want you to think for yourself. You've done these things before. Okay, so here we go. A population parameter, right, is the factors that determine the size of a population. Simple, okay? It affects the change that occurs over time. You with me? I will show you what they are, but the parameters, if they say what is a parameter of the population, you must be able to mention the following. Right, so let's have a look at it. I'm going to bring it down, and here's the first one. Mortality. Now, mortality, I remember a video game. Do you remember the video game Mortal Kombat?
I've never touched a PlayStation or Xbox game in my life. I'm sorry. I'm absolutely useless at it.
Okay,
I just broke your heart a little bit.
Sometimes it confuses me. It's understandable. Right? You even got it in the shops. Did you never get in the shops and you got the little joystick and the button and you went and you
No, I
spun it?
always lost. I used to play that little fiery thing, a little fox.
Little fox.
In like Spur.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, in Spur.
That's it. So, well, we've all done it and we've played those games. And if you don't, Mortal Kombat was a big fight and how you destroyed the heads and everything like that. And you killed them in this way and all, you know what I'm getting. So mortal, right, means death. In this case, okay, mortality, it's the rate, right, at which new individuals, right, are lost. Get that? Yeah. You thought it was new individuals are introduced. It is lost. They die. Okay, lost to the population through death. It is not. We packed up our bags and joined a different country. Right. This is death. Now, simple. Next one we are going to have a look at. Immigration. Now, immigration, the way you're going to remember that, I want you to remember the first letter of this word. This is how you're going to remember it. The first letter of the word. E, right? The letter I. Now, movement is part of this. I stands for in. Right? We coming into an area. You get what I'm trying to say? So, immigration means I'm moving from somewhere into this area. and now I'm joining the population, which means it's getting bigger. Okay, so if it has a look here, the rate at which new individuals, right, join a population from somewhere else. Easy, right. Next one is emigration. And emigration has got an E, and E stands for exits. So it exits, it leaves the population to go join another one. That means this population is getting smaller. Okay, so yeah, it is the rate at which an individual, of course, of a population, it leaves a population to somewhere else. Now, let me explain it to you in this way, which is never going to happen for some reason, because that's how I think, right? I need to emigrate South Africa to immigrate into Australia. Hey, does that make sense?
No,
I would never do that.
No.
I'd like to stay with this beautiful country. But
Stunning
that
country.
was a way to explain it. I emigrate South Africa and immigrate into Australia. Okay, maybe I could pick a better place. I emigrate out of South Africa and I immigrate into Hawaii.
Ooh.
See, now I've got
Bora
her thinking,
Bora.
right? Bora Bora, nice. So, do you get where I'm coming from? Now, I've got a diagram here, so have a good look and understand where everything comes from. Right, this, as I said, all these diagrams normally I try as hard as I can to get it from the Macmillan book so that you guys can understand it and see it. It's a good book, it helps a lot. Right, so let's have a look at it. Immigration, have a look at the arrow, right? Birth, have a look at the arrow. Death, have a look at the arrow. And immigration, have a look at the arrow. Now, there are the four things. Death, this is the population, right? This is the population. If I have 10,000 in the population, right, and 9 die, now we've got 9,901. Right, do you get what I'm trying to say? The population has decreased. If I have a look at immigration, we have 10,000 and 10 join, we have 10,010. Look at birth rate, we have 10,000 and we have 3 new individuals or 3 mothers that have just given birth, we have 10,003. Simple. And then of course, emigration, that is when we lose. So if we've got 10,000 and 5,000 leave, we end up with 5,000. Very, very easy. Okay, do you understand where I'm coming from? Now, each one of these things are will come about by certain factors. Okay? Like death could come to certain factors. Old age, not enough food. Do you get it? Predators. Okay? Immigration. Sun, right? Food. We've moved from that country into this country because it's beautiful. I mean, they always say the grass is greener on the other side, right?
So true.
Okay,
Maybe not.
But I mean, the grass is greener, so what are we going to do? We're going to go eat the grass. That's how it works. That's where the track of the, what's it, the wildebeest, the long track, I can't remember the name, right? And they go across a big river and crocodiles want to eat them, and they're all going there because the grass is greener on the other side, and then when that goes to winter, they come back. It's a big migration, right? That's what it means. Okay, so they all leave this area and go join another area, and then they come back. Okay, so that is immigration. Immigration. Immigration, they're leaving. Immigration, they're coming in. And then, of course, birth, which we spoke about. Now, you'll notice that on all of these things, okay, I've mentioned immigration, which means leaving. I've mentioned immigration, which means coming in. I've mentioned death. Haven't mentioned birth. There's a reason for it. There's a big reason for it. But I'll leave it there. Let's see how good you are.
Okay, guys, I hope you are enjoying this revision session. If you are struggling and need help, remember to post on the Facebook page, facebook.com/learnextra. Now it's time for a break, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break. I can't believe that spring is here and soon it will be time to plan for your final exams. But don't stress, exam school is coming in term 4. We'll be here to support you all the way. But for now, let's get back to today's revision lesson.
Predator and prey. Right. Predator and prey relationships. Now, we're having a look at what it actually is. So let's get a definition, because remember, definitions are very important. Okay, so a community is a group of species. Remember, community. We've learnt about this before. Okay, the community is a group of species living in a particular area. Okay, an animal that hunts is the prey. Okay, hunts and catches. Let me put there. Hunts and catches and kills. That's the main thing. Hunts, catches, and kills other animal is called a predator. Now, a predator, you all know what that is, right? You think about it now and then. But would we, as humans, be predators at the moment where we're standing here? Looney.
Yes, I think.
You think?
Because we eat animals.
Okay, so we eat animals. So she's looking at certain things. Like, let's see. What do we need to do before we eat the animal?
Dead.
Right, so we kill it. There it is. There's the word. Okay. What else do we need to do before we kill it? We need to
Cook it.
no.
Before we kill it.
Before we kill it.
Oh, you need to.
Something's wrong with this girl today.
You
We
need to catch it.
Nice. So here we go. We need to catch it. That's very nice. Okay. And now we're talking about the plain Joe, me and you and everything. Do we hunt the cow and the sheep?
Us, humans.
Yeah.
No.
No, we don't hunt it, but we go, come on, this way. Let's go into this long line and into the building, and out comes this.
No.
In a
We've got
pack.
people who do that though, like their jobs. To do
Yes,
that
it's their
stuff.
jobs. But what I mean is, humans,
No.
we just like, come on, that's it. They have some food, and you go because it's good to eat so they can calm down. Right? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So
I get you.
one of the things are missing. Are we really predators?
Okay, if you put it like that, then we're not really.
You see how
If you,
definitions
yeah,
work.
if you put it like that, because we don't actually do that. Like we don't go to the bush, like find a
Oh,
cow or
but we
something.
do for the other Joes. They go shooting parlor and all of that.
But
That's
like
hunting.
normal people, like we don't go there and like get a cow and like, okay, come cow, and then now we slaughter it ourselves. Like we go to the shop and buy beef, like it's
Yeah.
ready. So now you see.
She's not calling me normal. Us normal people.
No, the thing is, like, no, you are normal unless you hunt your own cattle and then you catch it there at your house and you slaughter it.
Yeah, I've got a big
And
yard.
you,
It's
if
about
you've got
this
that,
big.
then you're one of those people. You're not
one of
normal,
those
You're
people.
one of the
Now I'm one
others.
of those people on the other side of the fence. That's great. You're digging your hole, girl. Just stay in there. Don't pop your head out. Right, okay. We can be seen as predators, right? Because we do eat meat. And if it wasn't for example, the abattoirs that kill the meat, right, or as farmers breeding them for food, we'd have to hunt for them. Right, we used to hunt for animals. Right, and people still go to the bush and they go kill impala and zebra and all of that for eating purposes. Right, so we are predators, we are hunters. Right, so there's the first thing. Next thing, I'm so used to it being on that side, and I thought I would change it because they always say a change is as good as a holiday. Right, so let's have a look at it. The animals that is being caught and killed, right, are called the prey. Now, that is not go on your knees, put your hands together, is it? Looney?
No,
Okay.
that's a different prey.
That's a different prey, right? We're talking about guys that eat like this. They're chowing and they look up and they look, where are these brothers that's going to kill us, right? And then when they see them, right, there's no, come little kids, let's walk. It is, let's pick up our stuff and balega. Right, that's how you say it, hey? Yeah, that's it. Boom, and they cruise, and you can see the smoke coming out and the hair going like this. And you know what I'm trying to say? It's so cool. They run away. They're going to be caught and killed, so their life depends on how fast they can run. Okay, so that is the prey. Now, the feeding relationship. It's the big thing. The feeding relationship depends on the two together. So let's have a look at what it is. The feeding relationship between the predator and the prey is determines the size of two populations, right? two populations, which I'll explain in a few minutes, right? The two population is regulated by each other in a negative, there we go, a negative feedback mechanism. We call it the predator-prey relationship. Now, negative feedback. Now, let me see, negative feedback. Let me give Looney some negative feedback. Let's see. You know, Looney, you're not concentrating on us enough, which means that you're not giving me your all. And I know that you can do so much better than that. So please, whatever you do, put some effort in. Right, that's negative feedback. You get where I'm coming from. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard it. When I was at school, I heard it. So I know you've heard it.
No, there was worse though at school, but you being kind.
I'm being kind.
Yes.
I'm being nice.
Our
Now,
teachers were very mean.
it's not that type of negative feedback. Okay? It depends. It shows you how the relationship between the two affect each other. So when one becomes positive, the other becomes positive. When the one becomes negative, so does the other. They work on each other. Okay, when one increases in size, so does the other. So let's see. I've got some pictures, not many today, but I've got some to actually show you how beautiful is that. That is my wife's favorite bird or animal. Right, can you tell me what that is, Lenny?
Fish eagle, I'm guessing.
See, nobody misses it. She loves the call, she loves the beauty, the savageness of grabbing it and tearing it apart. Wait, I'm getting carried away now.
Yeah.
Right. So she loves this animal. Now, that's why I put it in. Right. So if we have a look at it and I carry on going down, I've got this strange looking thing. Now let's have a look at it. I'm going to use two different colors to show you. Okay. This here, up and down, is a wave-like motion. Okay, and it's not the sea, it's a graph. So let's have a look at it. Underneath, it's about time. Okay. The long period as we go. On the side is number of individuals, right? Okay, cool. We happy? And then, what is missing on this graph? Looney, can you tell me what is missing on this graph? Just a glance, something that you always have to do. Okay, you tell me. But let me put it in. Let me make it
Thing
easier
is, I
for you.
can't see clearly. Number of individuals.
Oh, come over here and look.
Time.
Come on,
Okay.
get up and get here. This is
Okay,
life science. We need to get some involvement
Okay,
here.
yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. What is on here? Which is the prey and which is the predator?
Okay, so this is the prey.
How would you say that? Because they've got a key here, right?
Yes.
Okay, they've got a key there.
Yes.
What I want you to do, I don't want you to do things like this. Okay? It is allowed. Okay? It is allowed. Thanks, Lee.
Okay.
It is allowed. But what I want you to do, if you have a good look at it, a nice close look, so look close at the board, right? I want you to see that there's two types of lines, right? You get a solid line and you get a stippled, I don't know how else you, like a dotted line. Mm-hmm. Right, so what I want you to do is over here, you will put, for example, it's your prey, right? And I'm just going to put predator. So there we go. And then for the prey, it is be a solid line. And for the predator, I want it, you go a dotted line. And what is that called? Do you know what that's called?
A broken line. Oh, what?
This piece. What is that thing called?
A key.
A key. We always need a key. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the dotted line in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Right, there we go. Roundabout so that you can see what's going on. There it is, okay? And then I'm going to have this solid line, if I can get to red, yellow, and up we go. Down again. Just follow the line. We know how easy it is. So I want to show you exactly what's potting here. Okay, there we go. So we've got the two, and you can see there's a key. So automatically I can picture and I can understand and I can see what is going on in that graph. Now, let's get to the crux of the matter. Right, so if I have a look, let me see a nice color here. Let's try green. Okay, so the green is what we're looking at now. If you have a look at where this part is the highest. Look at where this part's the highest. Look at where this part's the lowest. This part's the lowest, right? Of course, the highest, the lowest, and the lowest. There's a reason for that. And I want you to understand this very carefully. Okay, so we've got 1,000 impala, right? You all know what impala is. But wait, let me change it. We're going to use something that we all have heard before. Right, what do you think, Lini? We got 1,000 springbuck.
Okay.
There we go. Springbuck. Beautiful animal. It's our animal, our national animal, right? So we're going to use a springbuck. So we got 1,000 springbuck, right? And they are living happily, eating grass, living their life merrily, and that's all fine. And in this area where these 1,000 springbuck are, right, we have 3 cheetahs. Right. Now those 3 cheetahs are very important. Okay. So what happens is when the times become good and favorable and lekker, right? There's nice luscious grass and it's like a feast, right? And there's a lot of water. What do the springbucks do? Can you tell me? When it comes to stunning time and there's a lot of grass and a lot of water, what do the springbucks do?
They graze.
They graze, yeah, they graze. That's the normal day job, whether it's winter or not.
Look for prey?
No, they don't look for prey. They eat grass. Their grass don't run away.
Oh,
Stick with me, Looney. What is the big thing about life when it comes to animals? What do they want to do?
They want to mate.
They want to mate. Lovely.
No,
so
wait.
there we go. So they want to mate. So there's 1,000 springbucks, right? And those 1,000 springbucks are there, and they decide they are going to have offspring, right? They're going to have little springbuck. Right, so now their numbers have increased to 1,500. So let's have a look. There's the 1,000 springbuck, and don't look at the numbers. I'm just trying to explain things to you. So there it is, right? This number, let's change it to 100 so you can understand. They increase all the way because they've had lots of babies. Right, so you get where I'm coming from. They've had a lot of babies, which means from 1,000 they've gone up to 1,500. Okay, because of all the kids. Yes, you with me? Then the prey, if you have a look at it, the springbuck increased in size because there was a lot of grass and a lot of water. Yes? Now, what do the cheetahs eat? They eat springbuck and drink water. So the springbuck has become increased, which means there's a lot more springbuck. So what do the cheetahs do?
They look for the springbuck.
Yeah, but they mate. She's not. When I get a hold of her,
no,
right? They mate, which means they have babies. So they increase in size, right? And when there's so many more, now all of a sudden we're going to hunt for animals. And they hunt for animals and they kill a couple, right? Which brings them the springbuck's numbers down, am I right? And if it brings it down, is there enough food for the cheetahs? No. So what happens to the cheetahs? They die out. Do you understand? So that's the negative feedback. So when the springbucks decrease in size, so does the cheetahs. And if that doesn't happen, there's big problems.
Now it's time for a break, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. I hope you are getting into the idea of revision. Please let us know how you are doing. I'd love to chat to you on Facebook and on Twitter. Enough of the chat. Let's get back to revision.
The predator-prey relationship. Now, we've spoken about that. Just off the top of your head, even before you look at that, you got to think about it. What is the predator-prey relationship? Okay, it's how the predator and the prey mingle together. So, in other words, the predator will eat the prey, yes, and if there's a lot of prey, there's a lot of predators. If there's a little bit of prey, there's a little bit of predators. Okay, so can you remember all of this? So, just by looking at predator-prey relationship, that's what's got to go into your head immediately. Okay, so then it says the population. Or we're having a look, the population of the predator and the prey fluctuate. Now, they use big words. The reason why they use these big words, it's not to confuse you. It's biology. Oh, well, should I say life science, right? The life science part of it, it's trying to, the questions are very easy. They need to make you think. Okay, so that's why they do things the way they do. Okay, so the questions aren't difficult. It's how they put them that make you worried and they make you test yourself and maybe not understand it a bit. So let's go through it. Fluctuate in regular cycles. Now you're going to think to yourself, what do they mean by regular cycles? Okay, you need to look at it. They are trying to say that it fluctuates. In other words, some goes high, sometimes they're high, sometimes they're low. And when they say it fluctuates, it means if I put it over here, it does this. That fluctuates. Okay, sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. okay? And they work together. So remember when we did this, we did the prey that's over here. Can you remember doing this? Okay, that was a predator-prey relationship. That's how they worked together. So, now that we've got all of this and we understand that, let's have a look at the first question. Please keep in mind that we need that top piece to understand. They are telling you what they're going to be asking you about. They're going to be asking about predator-prey relationship. Okay, cool. Now, give an example, plain and simple, give an example, right, of a predator and a prey in a South African savanna. In other words, grassland. Oh, leave it alone. It's a grassland. Okay, now, if I have a look at it, South Africa's got a lot of different regions, and you've learnt about it. We've got forest, we've got semi-desert, we've got grasslands, we've got woodlands. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So there's all different ones. And what they want to know is, they want to know a predator and a prey that you find in them. And I know that in grade 10, if I'm not mistaken, you learnt about the karoo, right? And there's certain animals that you find in there, and there's certain animals you find in the grassland, right? Like, you will not find a chimpanzee in the grassland, would you? Hey, Looney?
I what? A chimpanzee? No.
You see, it starts already. Looney, would you find a chimpanzee in the grass? Why not?
Yes. Grassland.
Yeah.
Like trees and stuff.
No, what does grassland mean? Stick with me, I'll make you famous.
Oh my gosh. No, can I just please? Okay, yeah, grassland, no.
Why not? How many trees are you going to find in the grassland?
9.
Ah,
Grass.
good. So, will you find them there?
No.
Good, I'm glad to hear that.
That's why I asked, trees, are they trees, grassland trees? And they said no.
No, you
so
don't get grassland trees. Right. Yes, you'll get trees here and there, and most probably you're going to find it, but we're looking at most of it. Right. So you're not going to find chimpanzees there. Right. Now, grassland is mainly, you look at your foster animals. Right. So you would look at your cheetah. Right. And you will have a look at your leopards. There will be a couple of trees because it doesn't hunt inside the forest areas. It hunts on grassland. It's got to run, right? You would look at your lions. Now, lions you would think are not fast. Just for the record, a male lion, well, let's go to a cheetah. A male cheetah will run 100 meters in 3-point-something seconds. Hey, Looney, how quick is that?
Yes, that's very fast.
Right? A male lion, I will run away from that. Right? He stands about that size. His paws are about that size, and he runs 105-point-something seconds. So there's no ways. Not even, what's his guy's name that runs the world record? Usain Bolt will come near him.
That guy.
Okay, so he runs away. So if we have a look at it, we're looking at animals like that. So the most common one is the king of the jungle. And what does the king of the jungle normally eat? It's normally those red, in Afrikaans, the rooibok. It's called your impala. Okay, so let's have a look. If I have a look at it, there, impala and lion. There we go, plain and simple. And remember, they've looked for 2 marks, so it is 2 things, impala and lion. Simple, easy. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the next one. What happens, there we go, what happens to the population of prey, right? So the population of prey, okay, if the predator's population decreases. The main thing is explain your answer, and it's for 3 marks. Okay, for one of those marks, right, they're asking what's going to happen. Now, if I have 10 lions and there is 100 buck, right, and every time the buck has a baby, right, or 3 babies, should I say, then the lion has a baby, which means there's more mouths to feed. So what happens? We kill the buck, so it stays at 100, roundabout. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Now, what happens if the predators decrease? If I went around and I took half of those lions away, what is going to happen? Right? So the first thing is, if I have a look at it, we know that the prey, right, is going to increase. Now, they've got more chance of survival. Okay, so if I put it there, let's have a look at what I said, and then I'll explain it again. The population of the prey will increase, first of all. Okay, and explain your answer for 2 marks. It's 3 marks. 1, you have to answer the first question, which is, what happens? That's the first question you've got to answer. That'll always be for 1 mark. Second mark, the 2 marks after that is explain your answer. Very, very important. Don't just put one thing down. The mark allocations are there for a reason. If we didn't put the mark allocations, how would you know how in detail to go? You understand? If something's for 1 mark, I'm not going to write an essay. Okay, so let's have a look at that. It'll increase. Then it is, with less predators, right, around, the less prey is likely to be killed and the number of the prey will increase. Okay, so do you understand where I'm coming from? If there's 500 murderers over here, more people are going to get killed. If I've taken all of them away and just leave 3, what's going to happen? Less people will be killed. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Okay, and I know I'm using people and murderers, and yet it just makes you think. Okay, so with this, you understand it. You've got it. Looney, have you got any clue what I'm talking about? I thought so. Come on. You know,
so the thing is, let me tell you, you see now the mindset is going to think I'm not listening to you. I need to multitask, you see. So I'm busy reading all the comments here and everything. I'm replying. So I hear you talking, but sometimes you see my mind switches off and I'm focusing on the mindsetters, which is my job. But then I'm listening to you as well. Don't worry. I listen to you. So what are you talking about?
Can you believe that excuse? I'm sorry. There's no ways. No ways. Nice try, Looney. Nice try. You know, and I remember them always saying, if you want to listen and understand something, block your one ear, it'll go in the other, and it'll stay in there. She's got an earpiece in, it can't go out. So it means it hasn't gone anywhere. It never works. Right. Come, Looney. Stick with the program.
Okay.
And she's a woman. They say they can multitask.
We can. But now check this. I'm reading, I'm writing, and I must listen. That is too much multitasking at one go.
Not a chance. Easy for you. Now, let's have a look at the next question. Right. Okay. What happens to the population of predators, right, if the prey population decreases? Right? So what happens? There's the first part again. What happens? We need to answer that. And then, last one, explain your answer. Very simple. How many marks? 3 marks. Always look at the marks. We've got to look at the marks. It helps you around. Right. So, if have a look at it. If the predators, if the population of the predators, hold on. What happens to a population if the predators of the prey population decrease? Okay. If the prey decrease. Okay, so in other words, we've got 100 buck and there's 10 lions, or 1,000 buck and there's 10 lions, and I'll bring all these buck down to 50. What is going to happen to the lions? I mean, think about it. If you're playing catches, I know that you don't play catches anymore, but trust me, that was a good game when you were in primary school. Can you remember it, Lenny? Playing catches.
Yes,
Listen.
I heard you.
She heard me. You knew that was coming. Yeah. Can you remember playing catches?
Yes.
Where you all had to turn around and then you would scatter the whole lot of you.
Yes.
And then one person would try and catch you.
Yes.
Right. Now, how difficult did it become when it was just, or how easy was it when it was just you and 50 kids? You would catch them. Easy, right?
No.
Yeah, you would
when
catch
it's just you and 50 kids. And
yeah, and you got to touch somebody.
No.
No, to me, that was easy.
Easy.
Because you run in here
Thing is,
and
they
there's
run
50
all
to
over
chase.
and you must...
Yeah, but you got 50. But as soon as you've caught a couple and put them one side, now there's only 10.
Oh, okay, I get
Now
you.
what's the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, when there was 50, it's much easier than when there was 10.
Yes.
Right. Now that's exactly what happens here, right? If the decrease in prey, okay, now it becomes more difficult for the predator to actually catch them. So what happens? Let's have a look. The population of the prey will, the predator will also decrease. Why will it decrease? That's what they want to know. So first answer, the population of the predators will decrease. 1 mark. Plain and simple, easy. Right. Now we need the 2 other marks. Why does it decrease? That's the main question. Okay, so let's see. There is less food, of course. They're more scattered around. It's less food to catch. It doesn't really mean that they won't have enough food to eat. It means that they've got to catch them. And to catch them is more difficult if there's less in a group. Okay? So, less food and therefore less chance of survival. The weakest and the oldest right? Where is it? The weakest and the oldest will die out. Do you all get that? The weakest and the oldest will die out. Those unable to provide for themselves. Now, I like this question. This is a cool question. Okay, all it is it's saying that I'm going to do it rather quickly, so you must listen. Okay, seagulls are use the coastal dunes as a breeding area. Simple, right? Over 20 years, a 20-year period. Well, this is up there, so listen to me carefully. Over a 20-year period, what's happened is there's a fluctuation, or remember fluctuation, you've got to get used to the big words, of the amount of seagulls in there, right? And the amount of cars that are driving on these sand dunes. So what they've done is they've put all of this stuff in a table for us. There it is. Okay? Into a table. Nice and easy. And they've said, okay, this is what happened. Seagull population starts off at 250, and right at the end, from 2008 to 2009, there was 150 birds. Okay? On this side, they're different. 12, 10, 14. How many cars were on the dunes during 1990 to 1991? You're with me. It's not a difficult table if you look at it carefully. Okay, let's have a look at the first question. And I want you to concentrate on this. Write a hypothesis for this study. Now, the reason why I want you to get here is, what is a hypothesis? Okay, think about it. What is a hypothesis? You guys always get it wrong because you think it's an experiment. Okay, it's not about the experiment. It's very simple. You are saying what is happening. Okay, it's a demand, it's fact, that's it. Not whether you're right or wrong, you are saying it. Like, Looney is bright. That is a hypothesis, right? Not I think Looney's right, or we're going to have a look if Looney's right. Hey? Look at that smile. You can't tell me she can't glow. Right, so let's have a look at a hypothesis for this thing. This is a nice hypothesis. It is the use of vehicles on the dunes, okay? The use of vehicles on the dunes, right, is negative, has a negative effect on the size of the seagull population. I'm not saying I think, I'm saying the vehicles, I'm saying the vehicles on the dune are affecting the seagulls' population. Simple. It's not whether they think that, I'm telling you that. Right, next one. If I had to make a graph, identify the dependent and the independent variable. I want you to get to this. So you need to listen to me. Dependent variable, independent variable. Now, dependent and independent, what is the difference? That's, you normally put it in the graph, right? And you get the one and the other. The x, this is the y-axis, that's the x-axis. Now, the x-axis is what you can change. The y-axis is what is changed because you changed it. So, for example, dependent variable is dependent on the independent variable. I know that sounds like crazy, but let's say independent variable is what I change. How can I change? What do I change in this whole thing? If I have a look at it, what do I change here? Can I change the number of seagulls? Me? No. They can though. I change the number of buckies. So the independent variable, the bottom one, independent variable is the number of cars. The dependent variable, the amount, what happens to the other, what's names, is the number of birds. Okay, so hopefully I've explained it. I hope I gave you as much information as possible.
We've come to the end of today's show. Thanks to Macmillan for making the show possible, and thank you for joining us and for participating in this revision session. Remember to visit our website, learnextra.co.za/live, to get the notes and to watch the videos. If you are stuck on any questions, make sure you post them on Helpdesk at learnextra.co.za/helpdesk. From all of us at Learn Extra, have a great September holiday and join us again from the 30th of September for Term 4.